Welcome to Source It Up. The whole goal of this channel is to help show you guys different places to source from, what to source, different platforms to sell on, all with the goal of helping you guys diversify and learn different categories, sourcing methods, so that you can be more secure in your online selling. So this week we're going over last week's sales from February 3rd to the 10th. We sold about 220 items for about 4,500. Now this is just eBay that I'm going to go over right now. We also sell on Amazon right now. So hope you guys learn a couple things and enjoy. So here's February 3rd. I've been dabbling a little bit with selling games instead of doing in lots, which I have been doing, just having a flat price without looking them up, because I think that you save time lotting things up, but you also save time with not having to research prices, because right now, currently, we research almost everything because we're selling in so many different categories. So that's something we're playing with. I will show you guys probably next week or the week after some of our progress on that. Same thing with the Pokemon cards. I'm switching it up just kind of a little bit. Working with a lot. Like, we started about 200 auctions this week, so next week's going to be a really, really cool video. So yeah, this was from a storage unit, 180 for 170 bucks. Pretty good. Sold pretty quickly. These were part of, I think I showed you guys last week, there was some other porcelain, vintage Japanese, Japan, Disney, these are tiny little things. They're not that big. These sold for $9.99, but they came with a couple others, and I was selling them, for 40, or one sold for 40, another one sold for 15. And these were all together in a bag for roughly $2.99, so it was pretty good. Again, DVDs. For parts of repair, you can sell these individually, but since these all together can fit right into a flat rate padded envelope, and they're easy to list together. And these notes here, we actually wrote what's wrong with it. So when we test things, we put a little sticky note on it with a tiny piece of tape, and we write what the issue is, so that when we do decide to sell them for parts, it's very specific on what is wrong. And this actually helps our for parts lots to sell a lot better. This was a multiple sale. They got 15% off, but they bought 3 of these cards. So they did get 50% off, but then I saved postage and packaging materials and shipping time on these two. So I saved, 50 cents to $1, but they, they saved, a couple dollars. So it's a mutual kind of a thing when people buy multiple cards. It's actually very cool. I will be making a whole series, actually, if you're interested, on how to list trading cards to sell on eBay. That I'm actually very excited about. So this was another one. I was actually very excited about this. Somebody bought all of these in a lot, so I was very happy about that. So again, multiple orders. I have buy one, get 15% off your next one. So a lot of people buy more than one, more than two, I mean. So this person bought 3, this person bought 4. Even today I have a lot of multiple orders. I'm not going to go in there. I think they show names and stuff. I wasn't prepared to go in there, so I'll show you guys next time my whole Shipping Easy platform. So we get a lot of consoles, and sometimes we have an abundance of wires and controllers, and sometimes we don't. This was a time where we didn't, so we just sell the console only. On eBay, it does pretty well, as long as they work. This was another multiple order right here. Someone bought both of these puzzles. They paid full $17 shipping, and it cost us a lot less than that to ship these out, so that was very good. This sold almost immediately. This was from a storage unit as well. And guys, I got a lot of this stuff from storage units. I've only done 3, and I'll make another video, but I've already learned some very, very valuable lessons on what to buy and what not to buy. Absolutely, and what kind of a structure you need to really be able to handle this kind of that kind of stuff. It's a lot more work than I had anticipated, but also if you do it the right way, you can get them sorted through very, very quickly and efficiently, and pay. I'll also show you some different tricks where you can save some money on dump fees and different things. So, okay. Danbury Mint, I think we sold one of these last week. I may have gone, I hope I didn't go over February 3rd because it's Saturday to Saturday. I may have already gone over a couple of these last week. I apologize if I do. I may have had to start from February 4th. So let's just get to February 4th. These were a nice find. Found these for like 10 bucks. Let's just get to February 4th, even if we skip over a couple things. Okay, here we go. For some reason, it is not allowing us, even though we're approved with Leapfrog products on Amazon. We've sold many, many used things over the past few years, and they sell for double and triple, quadruple on Amazon very well because a lot of people aren't approved, and so there's not much competition. But for some reason, we keep getting sent back. I got to give them a call, but for now, we're just selling our... but the cartridges, I mean, they do very well. They sell very fast. Loose figure here for 20 bucks. All the figures we get in bags with other figures for no more than $2 or $3.99. So this was together with other figures, and we paid no more than $3.99 for it. So it's pretty good. Toomey's a great brand. This is just a little keychain, sold for 12 bucks. But Toomey, look out for Toomey bags, Toomey backpacks, all those kinds of things. Nice little Pokemon card lot here that's sold. I'm going to be doing this a little bit more because you don't make, I may, if I sold these individually, I may have gotten 160, 170. But then if you figure all the individual stamp costs and the fees, it kind of evens out. Evan, hold on. Yeah, hold on, Evan. Daddy's busy, okay?
Yeah, this coin's for me.
Okay, the coins are for you.
Yeah, Mama had it.
All right. So here's another console. These Slims do better individually, plus they're cheaper to ship. They do fit in a flat rate padded, but I don't recommend that anymore because even though it's padded, if it gets jolted around too much, the laser actually gets loose. And so we've already had twice. I'm never going to ship it again in flat rate padded mailer because the laser got messed up 2 times already. So I've lost out literally on 2 sales here. Snap-on workwear, very well. This actually was a pickup. Somebody came to pick that up. So I refunded them the shipping. Vinyl records. These I just lowered the price just to get rid of them. This came from Online Arbitrage. I bought a whole huge used lot of toys. I do Shop Goodwill a lot. This was from Shop Goodwill. This came from Savers, I believe. Got this for maybe $4.99, $5.99. So that was definitely good. This all came in one little bag for $1.99 from a local thrift shop. And yeah, so I love throwing things up on auction. Helps cash flow a lot. Yeah, these, again, there's some figures where if they're all similar, I'll just pick it up. But then sometimes I don't look them up all the time. I go on intuition, and sometimes my intuition's a little off. Still made a little profit on this, but sometimes, and I'm learning as well. So anyway, this is what was an experiment. So I just picked it up, I threw it in a cart, I took a shot on it. I should have looked it up. There's things, 1 out of 20 or 30 things, it's like, I should have looked it up. And, but my sourcing time is cut way down because I take some of those chances. But I've broken even, but I've never lost money, right? This didn't lose me money, even after paying, for the picture being taken, it listed, it shipped, it's very, this is not something that's hard to ship. It's not something that's hard to list. So this has been sitting forever. We just kind of unloaded that. I was experimenting with listing a couple of these separately. These actually sold in a multiple order as well. This was from Shop Goodwill as well. I bought a whole lot of untested electronics. This happened to work pretty well. We actually just mentioned that it turns on and is great in cosmetic condition, but it wasn't fully tested, and it still sold for $70. Yeah, some of these Japanese sticker cards they're selling like hotcakes. This was cool. These are electric chargeable heated gloves. Very high quality. These things were really, really nice. I almost considered keeping them. They were just so nice, but winter's almost over. I'm like, whatever. Um, but yeah, $80. It didn't sell on auction for 100. Listed it for 80. Sold within a day or two. Yeah, some of these dragon figures. This was sitting for a while. I lowered the price. It sold. This was maybe $4.99 at Savers. The Pioneer Women. If you see anything at a thrift shop for under $10, as long as it's new or like new, I would pick it up. This sold very quickly. We got this for I think $6.99. This came from Shop Goodwill on a large lot. Probably paid $1 or $2 for that. This was something I just lowered the price to unload it. This was it's funny because usually like McDonald's and Burger King toys, they don't really sell. There's very, very few that actually are desirable. But this is interesting. This is a KFC. It was kind of a little larger and it's pretty good quality. So it was pretty cool. So I found that, and that came in I think a bag with a couple other toys that we sold. But this was I love the figures because sometimes it can be deceiving on what these things are worth. So same thing with something like this. This was this is a tiny little memory stick, but this one is a little more high end, I guess. So I put it on auction because I couldn't specifically find it, but I saw some similar selling, and apparently the auction went up, so it was pretty cool. This was from a storage auction. This thing was very, very cool. Excuse me one second. These things also have some weight to them, man. This was really cool. So the auction did very well. You just got to be careful when you're selling airsoft guns. I looked into it. One, you can't sell international, so you got to turn off international. It won't let you list it. And two, if you're selling it, it has to have this orange tip on it. Those two things, and you can sell it anywhere domestically. Saying orange tip. So this came in a storage auction as well. It was just awesome. Comics, I would stay away from comics unless you're really interested in them, because I've probably looked up thousands of comics individually, and I can tell you that most are not worth it, and it is not worth it. If you're into it, great. You actually will enjoy it. So like with me with Pokemon cards, you got to look these things up individually, and over time, you develop an eye for what is worth money and what is not, and you can sort that way. This came from one of the storage units. So a lot of the little stuff, this is, if you have a storage unit and you have a couple high-end items, and let's say there's 30 other things that are worth $10 each or $15 each, we do list them individually, and, it might take us, for 30 things, it might take us a half a day, and that might cost me an overhead, maybe 150, but overall, the 30 items generated $300 in income. So it's still plus. I'm giving my guys work. If I did all stuff $50 and plus, and I just did it by myself, at this point I could probably do better because I do have a lot of overhead. But the potential of what I'm doing, what I'm building, is so much larger than what I can do on my own. And so that's just the route I'm taking. And I have found success in selling, items that are between $20 and $30 or under $10. I've figured out a way to make it profitable, and now I'm just refining the process. And I want to show you guys the journey because I have dabbled in a lot of different things. I do some wholesale and other types of sourcing. I don't want to get too deep into any of that, but I will be showing you guys new things that I'm getting into, and also share with you the things that I already do. And that's why I love going through eBay and showing you guys these things. I sell these all the time. If you ever see the Story of Civilization, Now, sometimes it doesn't come with the dust jackets. It's like kind of a reddish kind of a cover with a little bit of gold writing on the side. Um, these sets, the complete sets, sell very, very well, very fast for a lot of money. So in it's medium L. Study Bibles do really well. One thing with the video games, like if you got a bunch of Kinect games that are in decent condition, that are all unique and don't sell individually, you can lot them up and get $3, $4, $5 per in the lot, and they sell pretty well. So you can definitely squeeze out some money like that. DVD, $20. Um, this was interesting. This we found at Savers for a couple dollars, $2.99 or something. I was surprised how much that actually sold for. Video games, some DVDs. See, we split them up into historical action, war movies, and people are looking for those types of genres. Another card. Lacoste is a great brand. You just gotta make sure they're in decent condition. But anything you find that's under a few dollars, I would get. We sold empty shoe boxes. This isn't even that high end of a brand. It's a good brand, but it's not like that high end. And so empty shoe boxes, like empty Chanel or Gucci shopping bags and things like that, these things sell. So if you come across that and you want to make a couple bucks, these things sell. These were sitting for a little while. I had to lower the price a little bit. So anything denim, shirt-wise or jacket-wise from Levi's, scoop it up if you can get it for under $5 or $10 because they sell pretty consistently and very well. Not all denim jackets, just Levi's, not Wrangler or Lee or Old Navy. None of those really sell very well. Some are kind of, but Levi's sells very consistently very well. Bunch of cards. So these were like all Italian, which was interesting looking those up. But there's some in this set here that are worth hundreds. So I just wanted to make sure I didn't have any of those. And I was learning. Let's see here. So this was a camera we got out of the locker. I considered keeping this and swapping out our camera, but because we have a Canon T3i, it's just a little bulky, and this was a little more lightweight. But this is a little older as well, so if I do get something, I would want a newer. So these were from a storage locker. Well, they're a little worn. I just wanted to test it out and see if any of these would sell for this price because there's not too many listed. This one sold, and then a couple of them didn't. I relisted them, I think, for $10 or $12, depending on how many watches there were. Let me just go to the previous page. I wish there was an easier way. And let's go down to the bottom, and we'll start going back up. Okay. Okay, so if you are into Pokemon cards at all, these Trainer Challenge code cards, actually, I would separate those out, sell them individually, or lot them up a little bit. They sell for quite a bit more. The rest of them sell maybe 25, 50 cents, $1 at the most each. These are $5 and up each. And one person bought all these in a multiple. So they bought them all, got 15% off, and I saved on, and they saved. So this is from a storage locker. The silver PS2s sell for quite a bit more. The white ones sell for a lot more. If you look up white PS2 Slim, they sell for a lot. So check that out. Look at this here. Some of these study Bibles, very, very well. And this wasn't listed on Amazon, so. Another toy here. DVD. So in some figures, it's quick to take pictures and list and ship. I will list them. I'm still bouncing around whether or not I want to do like $1,005 items or $20, $100 lots. So I'm still trying to play around with that. And I'll let you guys know because a lot of the larger sellers on eBay, some of the largest, they're doing all these small transactions and they're just doing thousands of them sometimes every day. And so that's something, I'm not gonna put that off the table. If you are working solo, I wouldn't do this. This is not a good way unless you're getting this stuff for practically free or cheap. I'm going to show you in this course how to make a living selling trading cards online, and you can absolutely do that solo. But it is hard work. It's 8 hours a day, and if you don't enjoy it, I don't recommend it. But you can absolutely make a living selling Pokemon, Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, and other cards online. You can make a living doing that, and I'll show you everything A to Z. So that's in the works. Let's see here. So this is something we got like 20 of these in this one lot, or from Shop Goodwill or something in this box, and so they're slowly selling for this. How many did we sell so far? Sold 9. We have 11 left. And over the last few months they sell, and this is the beauty of if you can get replenishables, even if they only sell once a month. But if you have a supply, 100 items that sell once a month for a $5 profit, right? And you can source them all online. If you had that kind of, then now you have $500 a month with minimal upkeep. So, a lot of people talk about find 10 items that sell for $10 profit 10 times a day, and that's $1,000 profit a day. And I think I forgot who. I know who said that, but I don't know who originally said that. So, but I learned that from 10K on the Bay, and other places, but most recently from him. And so, but what if you can find 100 items that sell once a day or once a week, right? But if you have sources for these, it's still good, right? It's still, if there's minimal upkeep, if you have the source, and you can even have someone else pick it up for you, or you can just order it again online and just slowly sell them and build up a portfolio of items that do sell. They're a little slower, but you have a good source for them. You won't need 10 items that sell 10 a day. You might need 100 items that sell once a week or something like that. But then you can still, because those are actually easier to find. There's less competition because they tend to be more niche. Like this is a very niche item. This is for specifically collectors. It's a kiosk demo disc, right? But if you found like a source for these, I'm not saying that the vintage stuff, it's hard, but like I'm talking about some home goods or clothing or something like that, or electronics, something newer. But for instance, let's say this was it. I'm okay with this. If I could just every 6 months order another 10 or 20 and just put it in a spreadsheet, that would be great. Anyway, I'm sorry for that tangent, but it's just this thought I always have, and I do currently retail arbitrage. There's multiple items that we go pick up on a weekly or bi-weekly basis that we ship into Amazon, and we buy it at full retail price, and we just send it into Amazon. We'll buy it for $5 or $6, and it sells for $15 to $20 on Amazon, and it just sells almost one a day, right? And so I'm trying to build that portfolio as well. But unfortunately, with retail arbitrage, it is getting harder. It is getting more difficult, and so you have to be more creative. You can go to Walmart and Target, and actually, I do have quite a few items from those places, but they tend to fall off faster than if you go into more obscure retail places. But then again, these sources might not be there. They might not be in business in 5 years or 6 years. With the rate of how things are changing. So being diversified in your sources and in your platforms and what you sell in the categories is going to help you guys be a little more secure in your online selling. But at the same time, don't take on more than you can handle. So there is a balance. This is a great brand. If I see that, I always pick that up. That's a great clothing brand. Here's a nice kids books lot. Individually, they don't really sell. Put them in a lot, they sell well. Same thing with the memory cards, the PS2 memory cards. We pop 2 or 3 together, and they sell very easily. These are some auctions. We put things on auction when we're not sure what to price them at. Like none of these were listed brand new on eBay or Amazon, so we were kind of testing it out, seeing what it sells for, seeing how many watches there are. So, and then depending on how many watches there are, how many views there are, I may update some keywords and the price and stuff like that and relist it, buy it now, depending on what I think it should be priced at. So Abercrombie, certain things, some of these fur jackets and stuff, they're pretty hot, and you can tell it's like super thick, high quality. It's not the typical, but some, Abercrombie stuff, some of it sells very well. So you got to check it out. We got this, I think, between $10 and $20 at Savers. Some more cards. Jack and Jones is a great clothing brand as well. This sold within a day. Now I only pick up guitars if they're detachable here. So it's detachable and actually fits pretty nice, pretty snug. We put 2 USPS mailing boxes together. There's like 2 different sizes, one that slides right into the other, and we just slide it in, put one or 2 layers of bubble. It fits right in there. It's pretty easy to pack, and so we figured it out. So, but I don't buy the ones that don't detach anymore unless it comes with the dongle and we can ship it into Amazon. It's just too much of a hassle. Here's some more of those porcelain Japan Disney figures that sold, $9.99. Those all came together. Guideposts pretty good. Again, we do a lot of video game stuff. We save the broken stuff, we lot it together, and we sell them. You got to have similar items. You can't have a bunch of random broken stuff. It's not going to sell. The other tip is if you find a local video game shop or electronics privately owned repair shop, you could call around and see if they're interested in purchasing them, because it might be worth it just to drop it off there and take the money, because some of these things take up a lot of space and they don't sell for that much. So it would be good to unload it to a local source as well that's willing, and they're in the business of repairing these things, and so they'll buy it for you, fix it, and then sell it for more. So it's a win-win. This is actually Avalon Hill. It should have been in the title. Avalon Hill stuff. This is the lowest it will sell for, but some Avalon Hill, vintage Avalon Hill games, especially like the fantasy ones and the war ones, do very, very well. I've sold some of them upwards of $100. You just got to keep on the lookout and look them all up. Same thing with Dungeons and Dragons, comes in a similar kind of packaging, the older stuff. Some of them sells for a lot of money. DVD. So this was a Game Boy player for the Nintendo GameCube. You need the disc too. Surprisingly, the disc that comes with this, that helps this operate in GameCube, sells for about $40 or $50 or something along those lines, and the actual hardware unit only sells for $10. So, yeah, so you can't sell this. If you had both, you could sell it on Amazon for even more, but Shopkins do well if you can get it in a lot. This all came together in one big bag, paid maybe $4 or $5 for it, sold it for $40 pretty quickly. We are getting to the end of this, the 10th. So here's just 7 kids books, vintage, $50. So not bad. You guys, I like to look a lot of stuff up. I set aside time to just look stuff up all day. Not all day, but an hour or 2 a day. I'm constantly looking up stuff, especially when I first start into a category or when I was first starting in general. I would just look up stuff, and you just get an eye and develop the experience to spot things that you need to set aside and list separately. TV seasons, lot those up together. sometimes t-shirts do well. This I lowered the price, sold pretty quickly. Not big on the t-shirt market, but and I'm still like, the one thing I don't really look through is t-shirts, but I know there are expensive ones, so I'm trying to, it's just the time consuming part. I'd rather look through jackets or hoodies, vests. These tend to have higher end items, whereas t-shirts, yes, you can find some 90s streetwear, hip hop, concert tees. Those can sell very well, but other than that, it's not. Other than that and Supreme, like I don't. That there are shirts. Uh, that's something I want to get into, but I haven't really had too much success with t-shirts. If you can get them, like if you can buy in bulk for 50 cents a t-shirt or 25 cents a t-shirt, and half of them are good to sell, and you can just pop them all up without researching them, take a picture, write the size, move on to the next, pit to pit, whatever, or you don't even have to measure it, just put the size. And if you can just crank them out, put them all $8 or $7 or something, that actually would be worth it. But if you're going picking, at a thrift shop, and that t-shirts is probably the last section I would look at. I would look at shoes, toys, books, all before I step foot near the t-shirts. I very rarely do I even have time to look at the t-shirts. But if you are at like a garage sale and you see a big box of brand new t-shirts, or a big box of like, video game or Pokemon, or, something that maybe even interests you, or good looking, cool designs, and they want $5 for the whole box, everything's in decent condition, no smell, and there's like 100 t-shirts in there, sure, pick it up. But yeah, anyway, that's enough on t-shirts. But that's with any clothing really. Clothing sells, most of it, and stuff you just got to learn the brands, which brands are worth it to kind of take an extra second and do a little research, and which brands you just pop up for flat, jeans flat $8, right, plus shipping, or $5 plus shipping, and just throw it up. So this is pretty cool. This person bought both of these, so we split up our Disney, Pixar DVDs from our children DVDs, and you could see 31 Disney DVDs sold for the same as 45 like other kind of kids DVDs. So we could probably have even gotten more than this. These sold almost instantly. We shouldn't have put them in the priority box. I just did that for storage, and we took a picture in it. Next time we'll do it in a regular box. But again, this one separates here. Got this for $2.99. Tested it. It works. Flipped it for 30 plus shipping pretty quickly. Some of these we had to lower the price. They've been in the shelf for quite a while. I go back every once in a while. This is a couple of them. But still, it's still profit, and it's still moving items and providing cash flow. This was sitting for a while, actually. This one here finally sold. I'm glad about that. One person bought both of these. One person bought all three of these. I believe, or just maybe two of these. So again, saving money on the combined. This came from the storage unit. Nice pair of skis were in there. Sold the bag separately. So this was in a little bag together, and these look like these all like similar kind of ornaments. Whenever I see little bags full of like the same type of item, and they even have some sort of quality to it that I've never seen before, I just pick them up, because I found some amazing stuff like that. And this was, this was like I believe $2, $3. This sold pretty quickly for $24.99. This is priority, but it'll wrap this very nicely, and put it, we have these boxes that are small boxes that also fit inside of a flat rate padded envelope. So we do that. We probably bubble it, pop it in the box, and then put it in the flat rate padded mailer. If the box is, let's say, $8 to ship, just slide it in the flat rate padded mailer, and all of a sudden now it's $7 or whatever the price is now, $6.90 something cents. Shop Goodwill here. Shop Goodwill, I calculate what things are worth before I do the bidding, and then I'll bid up to what I feel comfortable based on some profit and how fast things sell. So, but when I get it and list it, I don't necessarily calculate our profit. So I'm not sure exactly how much we got that for. I would have to do some digging for that. The any Rock Band uh, dongles or receivers, this is the lowest they'll go for. Some of them sell for $30 and $40. It's crazy. These little USB things. So keep an eye out for that. Same thing with this. This is a little tiny thing that fits in the palm of your hand for the DS. It looks a little older. It looks like it's not even worth anything. It looks cheap. $35. These are the types of things that if you have the experience in these categories, you can squeeze out a lot more money out of some of these bulk purchases that you make. This is that scope that we were, if you're questionable on the model, so we put model question mark question mark. I put it on an auction, had a bunch of watchers, didn't sell though for 30, so I just relisted it for 30 and it sold pretty quickly. So, and that was one of those airsoft guns that we took off the scope, the foregrip, sold the gun separately, and then the foregrip sold for about 40, they sold for about 30, and the gun sold for about 120. So, probably should have been buying now a little higher. No big deal. Some ice cream scoops do pretty well, the higher quality ones. I think we got this for $2.99. This we got for $1.99 from Savers. This we got for, I think, $3.99 from Savers. Do a lot of Savers. So sometimes there's like misprints and errors, and originally this card's like $5, but because of that error, it sold for 15. This card in the original unlimited version sells for less than $1, but because it's the first edition shadowless one, it sells for 13. So being able to recognize even things like that increases the value. So Magic Treehouse is a great lot to do for kids' books. Typewriters actually are very well. I only pick up Brother ones because this is the cheapest it'll ever sell for. And what you'll see at the thrift shop is maybe $10 to $15. If it's more than that, I usually don't bother. But last week, I think we sold one for $140. This one sold for $65. Yes, it takes a little extra to bubble wrap it, but the thing is with these, out of every single one we've got, none of them haven't worked. Brother is a great quality brand, and as long as it looks in decent shape, it should work. You can be pretty confident in that. So it's a good buy. This was sealed. We maybe could have got a little more, but Savers, Leapfrog stuff is pretty good, most of it. So with vinyls, one thing you can also do is put together the same artist. So there's only 3 vinyls right here, $18, not bad. Lacoste again, $24.99. This I was just offloading some of this stuff. This is actually one of my replenishable Pokemon lots. I'm trying to get this. Oops. Probably should have opened it up in a new window. Say where I am. So this, I've already sold 12. And so this is just used cards. There's quite a few. And I've been slowly upping the price. I have the bold title, I got the subtitle, right? And one will sell every 2 or 3 days, and hopefully this will pick up steam, especially next year for the holidays. If I have an established listing, we might be able to sell a lot of these. But these are all used. All cards come from pre-owned collections and varies from mint to played. So this is just one way to sell cards. I do a lot of other auctions and lots and cards. I'm just experimenting with all of these different types of ways of selling Pokemon cards to maximize profit. These old models do very well, of planes and things like that. The newer stuff you got to look up. The older stuff, most of it's great. Even these little Pokemon pins we sell. Like this was another replenishable that we had. I think we may have sold out. Oh no, we sold 9 of them at $5.99. We just literally popped this directly into a little bubble mailer, and we just ship it out. It's super easy to ship. Some of these Transformers. So the Transformers, that you pick up and they have a little weight to them. They're extremely complicated to figure out. Like we couldn't even get this together to take the picture. Those are the ones that are most likely worth money. Also, vintage ones from the 80s are worth a lot of money as well. So Transformers is something to look out for in toys. This sold. This is the second time it sold. The first time the guy didn't pay, I had to relist it, but it sold both times. It sold within a week. Here's one of those lots. I do 99-cent auctions. This is the least it'll sell for. Not sure. Sometimes, there's just the people aren't on at that night, but I've gotten between $10 and $30 for 400 cards. I usually want to try and get at least 6 cents a card. This is quite a bit lower, but again, it's cash flow, and this might be the break-even point. But usually I get between, again, this is the lowest I'll ever get. The most I'll get sometimes more than what I would put by it now, $25 to $30, which I was doing for some of these lots. So, which I might also do. I'm kind of mixing it up. I want to do 2 auctions every day for the rest of the year with the Pokemon cards and see how that goes. It's just cash flow. $20, $30, $40, $50 a day every day. Something you can count on. Something that just keeps rolling in. I kind of like those types of things, and I want to keep building that in different categories in different ways. So we are at the 10th, the last day that we're going over. This was a sealed board game. Again, $2.99, $3.99 at the most. Someone bought all these cards. Yeah, this was another thing from the storage unit. Pretty cool bag. Couldn't find the design. We just priced it a little bit higher because it looked a lot cooler than all the other ones. Book lot, I lowered the price on this. Nerf accessories. Like if you see a Nerf gun with like 10 accessories on it, or a bag of accessories for Nerf guns and clips and things like that, pick it up. It's worth money. As long as it's a few bucks, you can always sell it for a lot more. FootJoy is an excellent clothing brand. Almost all of I've never had an issue selling anything FootJoy before, like polos and this jacket here. Very, very quick sales. And this is it. These they returned it. We had an incorrect title for it, just one word. And it supposed to come with a gray lens, or we had gray in here, a gray lens, but it didn't come with it. It was just a mistake we made, and so we had to relist it. But I relisted it a little higher than we originally sold it for, and it sold, and pretty happy about that. So Oakley is a great brand. Clothing, gear, anything Oakley sells very, very well. So that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope I'm not like rambling too much. It's really strictly informational. And I really do hope you guys learn. And a lot of this stuff, it is a grind, learning new categories, getting into new things, just trusting that things will sell. I do need to make a video on how to really price something at the perfect price to factor in all of the different criteria to be confident in the price you put, because pricing is literally half the battle. Buying the right thing and then pricing it correctly, taking good pictures, putting an accurate title, and then description short and sweet. If you do all that, you can be very confident as you get better that things will sell. We have currently about a 30%, a little higher than that, sell-through rate, which is pretty good. And I price things, buy it now, no best offer. So, and I do mix in auctions here and there. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Got a lot of things in the work, so keep an eye out. Thanks, guys.